Adam Chebot-Goldman is a convicted felon. It was sentenced to 1 month in prison and had to pay a $1,000 fine for harassing its own parents online. Adam Chebot-Goldman has made this account that you see here in order to harass, threaten, dox, and slander me. It created a change.org petition to slander me, as you can see here. I'm going to post a link to this petition that Adam Chebot-Goldman made in the description so you can report it to help me take it down. This is, as I said many times before, a complete lie. It was slander. And the reason why this Jewish supremacist is slandering me and harassing me and threatening me for over a decade was because I criticized Israel. So I have a no contact order against Adam Chebot-Goldman. And Adam Chebot-Goldman, like I said, has been using this account, among others, the Sheila Kaye account, to contact me and harass me online in order to intimidate me so that I won't talk about Israel and won't criticize Israel. Adam Chebot-Goldman has been paid in Bitcoin to harass and threaten me. Here is the proof of that.
Did you know Israel pays people to write pro-Israel comments? During the 2008 Gaza war, we turned to Jewish communities abroad and recruited several thousand volunteers. That's Ilan Stulman, then Deputy Director of Information at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, from an interview with the Israeli Kalkalist about a new professional team of comment writers who will flood websites around the world with pro-Israeli messages, and who will participate in discussions about Israel on blogs around the world, and on websites such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Twitter in particular would receive round-the-clock activity. In a pattern that would be repeated in the future, the ministry would recruit educated young people who speak foreign languages. Our people won't say, "Hello, I'm from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs," nor will they necessarily identify themselves as Israelis. They will speak as citizens and write responses that will appear personal, but will be based on a pre-prepared list of messages compiled by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. To find out more, I'm GDF on YouTube. Did you
So Adam Chebot-Goldman has been paid in Bitcoin, and I know this because I saw on one of its fake accounts it was following a Bitcoin tracker. It gets paid in Bitcoin by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs through an intermediary. It could be Beitar, it could be the ADL, or it could be some other shell company. It's being paid in Bitcoin to harass and threaten people that are criticizing Israel. And this is one of the many fake accounts that Adam Chebot-Goldman is using. Like I said, I have a no contact order imposed against Adam Chebot-Goldman. It is legally not allowed to contact me. I spent the past 2 years pursuing criminal action against Adam Chebot-Goldman, and it came to a head on January 22nd when we went to trial. Adam Chebot-Goldman managed to beat the charges because it somehow, despite being poor and living off of welfare, has a law firm working for it. This is very strange. So and every time it showed up to a hearing, it had a different lawyer. I saw maybe 3 or 4 different lawyers that Adam Chebot-Goldman had. So someone else is paying for Adam Chebot-Goldman's lawyers. And this someone else is obviously Israel. So wealthy Jewish donors, it could be either through Beitar which is a Jewish supremacist group. Beitar is a Jewish supremacist group. It's so bad that even the ADL calls it a Jewish supremacist group. Or it could be the ADL themselves. What they do is they, or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs using a shell company, will help these Jewish agitators, these Jewish supremacist agitators, to harass and threaten people. And they will even pay their legal fees when they are being either sued or are facing criminal charges. So, in one way or another, it was a Zionist Jewish organization that bankrolled Adam Chebot-Goldman's defense and paid this legal team. And it seemed like every single time we went to a hearing, there was Chebot had a new lawyer. So Chebot made, and remember, Chebot is a convicted felon. Chebot made this change.org thing. And not only that, it also was impersonating a friend of mine named Yusef. And he made a video talking about Adam Chebot-Goldman and how Adam Chebot-Goldman impersonated him in order to create that change.org petition to slander me, in order to silence me so that I won't criticize Israel. So let's watch the video together.
What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Yusef al-Sanad, or Mr. Gamer 990, as some of you may know me. The topic at hand involves a, speaking of Jewish supremacy, it involves a Jewish supremacist who's not actually Jewish, by the way. He's this thing, not he, this thing is a fucking atheist. Go figure. But this thing, an atheist, I want you guys and gals to keep that in mind, identifies as Jewish as in a race and ethnicity. This, the pseudoscience garbage, which wasn't a thing until the late 1800s, and it's a whole, as the Americans, the stupid Americans would say, can of worm to open, or whatever the saying is. But this thing has been, doing a lot of shit, which myself and a buddy of mine, I will explain more about him without, sharing any intimate or personal details about him, but a buddy of mine are doing, our best to expose this loser, this thing, for the degenerate it is. But he has been impersonating others. My buddy,
this person is impersonating me on Reddit. They're using the name Mr. Lengus, and they posted a link to my video, and they're pretending to be me. This is not me. Okay, this person is going by the name Mr. Lengus on Reddit, and did an AMA, which means, ask me anything. This is not me.
And most recently myself, it's on Rumble. And this abomination, this thing, despite, not being a Jew, this thing...
Okay, I have to rewind just a little bit because I need to clarify something that you're seeing on screen here. So the name Joseph Cohen Mason, that is Adam Chebot-Goldman. This second account you see here, Otaku Gamer 990, that's Yusef. That's my friend Yusef who's making this video. So Adam Chebot-Goldman impersonates people in order to harass and threaten people like me, but not just me. Adam Chebot-Goldman harasses, threatens, doxes, slanders anyone that criticizes Israel.
Abomination, this thing, despite, not being Jewish as in a religious Jew, whatever that means, he identifies as Jewish and is passing off not just as a Jew, ethnic Jew, as they like to think themselves as, even though being Jewish has nothing to do with ethnicity or race.
Those who don't know, the Khazar hypothesis claims that Ashkenazi Jews descend primarily from a Turkic people who converted to Judaism in the Middle Ages. But modern genetics shows that that's just not true. There may be some minor Khazar contribution, just like any population, but it's not the source of Ashkenazi Jewry. It was a theory chasing a political conclusion, and like all racial essentialism, it should be left in the bin. So what do I think happened? Occam's razor. If there's no evidence of mass expulsion of Jews after the Roman revolts, and there really isn't, there's evidence of expulsion, it's just not a mass one, the simplest answer is that most Judeans stayed put. Over time they converted, first to Christianity under the Byzantines, then to Islam after the Arab conquests, and then became what we now call Palestinians. Same land, same Semitic ancestry, different religion and language. So where did the diaspora Jews come from? Small groups left Judea after centuries, traders, scholars, displaced families. As they settled in North Africa, Europe, and the Caucasus and Asia, they grew through one key rule. If you wanted to marry a Jewish woman, you had to convert. That's how identity spread, not by blood, but by belief, family, and community. This gave rise to the Ashkenazim, Sephardim, and Mizrahim, distinct but connected Jewish cultures.
I do want to clarify one thing. While I agree with him that Ashkenazis are probably not directly descended from the Khazars, Caucasian or Mountain Jews are. And the Ashkenazis are primarily Italian converts. So while they're basically the Jews that come from the Middle East that contributed to Ashkenazis, quote unquote, genetically, those were actually traitors. Those were the Roman collaborators who conspired with the Romans and betrayed their own people. So they were not fleeing persecution in the Middle East. They were actually fleeing their own people because they betrayed them. And that's what all collaborators do. Once the host country collapses, the collaborators just run away with them. That's what happened to Assad, right, in Syria. Let's be honest. Assad was a Russian collaborator. That's what he was. Like I believe that he is not as bad as al-Jawlani, who is an ISIS terrorist, literally. And so uh, this ISIS terrorist, al-Jawlani, he was supported and funded by America and Israel to overthrow the Assad government and topple the Syrian government. However, with all that said, and I do believe that they are much, much worse. However, with all that said, Assad was a Russian collaborator. So when his regime fell, he just ran to his host country, which was Russia. That's what collaborators do.
And what about the Ethiopian Jews? Their origins are still debated, but whatever the case, they blow up the myth that all Jews descended from a pure bloodline from ancient Israel. Jewish identity isn't racial. It never was. It's cultural, it's religious, and communal.
This guy loves to pass off as others. He likes to pretend to be this.
Yeah, I also want to clarify one more thing. I agree with that guy that Jewish identity is not racial. And what Jewish supremacists do, and Jews in general, not just Jewish supremacists, honestly, is that they use the word ethnicity or ethnic as a substitute for the word racial because race was debunked as a pseudoscience. However, they are still using the word ethnic or ethnicity to imply a genetic or blood relatedness to one another, and that is not how the word ethnicity is used in cultural anthropology. Ethnicity is primarily defined and delineated by linguistics and social constructs. Any genetic analysis on ethnic groups are done post hoc, which means after the fact. You can only do genetic analyses on predefined groups, but the groups themselves are not defined by genetics. So hopefully that helps clarify some misconceptions about this. Jews are basically just using the word ethnicity as a substitute for race because race was debunked as a pseudoscience, but they are still using the word ethnicity synonymously with race as a genetic thing when it's not.
Sniper Wolf fangirl who goes by the name of Sheila. And if you guys and gals know who Sniper Wolf is, she is the YouTuber. I have nothing to say on that idiot, but I'm going to share a video my awesome buddy has produced on this, which you can find in the link down below. He has been passing off as my buddy, as me, however many other people he's been passing off as. You have to read the comments of this guy, which, as you can see, he likes to pass off as different people and pretend like, oh, he's done nothing wrong and that it's me.
Yeah, I mean, this is all very true. Adam Chebot-Goldman has impersonated me. Adam Chebot-Goldman has impersonated innocent people. It basically infiltrated my Discord and impersonated two people, took their photos from Reddit, and photoshopped them to pretend like it was them instead of being what it is, a Jewish supremacist named Adam Chebot-Goldman.
Who's basically impersonating him or whatever the hell he's trying to do. And I dared him, guys and gals. I dared this fucking Jewish supremacist thing to film a video of himself and try to expose me as the impersonator. But that's what I'm doing right now, exposing this idiot. And I told this son of a bitch that he was not gonna get away with it. And I told him that I would not just expose him, I would fucking end him. This guy, his own fucking dad, guys and gals, called him a fucking idiot. Imagine that. Imagine how rich it is to know that one's own, what the fuck? One owns, what am I trying to say? One's own father, refers to them as an a fucking idiot.
Yeah, so the backstory to that is Adam Chebot-Goldman. This is not the first time that I filed criminal charges against Adam Chebot-Goldman. I had in the past, several years ago, and it showed up to court, and it was crying in court. No joke. It was crying. It was cowering in a hallway, and it started sobbing. And its father was there. So back then, its father was supportive of it. But after I filed those criminal charges, the FBI got sent to Adam Chebot-Goldman's father's house because Adam Chebot-Goldman sent child porn to Zach's tour, Cedric Lutz, who sadly passed away in 2019. And the FBI was sent to its father's house instead of to Adam Chebot-Goldman's apartment, its domicile. So it was able to delete all the evidence. However, Adam Chebot-Goldman's father was not happy with this, and it then realized what it was doing online. It was harassing and threatening people online. And so Adam Chebot-Goldman's father called him a fucking idiot. And the reason why I know this is because Chebot told me. Called it a fucking idiot on its birthday and cut it off completely. Cut it off financially. And Chebot is poor. Chebot has no education at all. So it had no job, and it was relying on its father to support it. So Chebot retaliated against its father by harassing it online, and that's what led to those criminal charges, and then it was sent to prison as a result because the Jewish supremacist groups that bankrolled Chebot in my criminal charges, they were not going to intervene in a personal family affair. So that's what happened, and it had to get a public attorney, whatever they call it, a public defender. It did not have a public defender when I filed criminal charges against it. It was being bankrolled by a Jewish supremacist group.
And as my buddy says right here,
this is one of those guys that is unhinged and should not have access to the internet. It should be behind bars. Okay? That's where it needs to be. It has been kicked out of its own house. Its own father called it a fucking idiot on its own birthday. Yeah, this emo actually told me that. Way back in the day, right? When I made those videos about it many years ago. and we were arguing on Twitter, it actually confessed to me that its father called it a fucking idiot. So even its own father thinks it's a degenerate piece of scum. Okay, because it got wise to the fact of what it was doing, spending all of its time online harassing people, impersonating me because of its own insecurities and stupidity, and making fake accounts. If you want more, actually, it was because of Jewish supremacy. So back then, I didn't fully understand the whole situation. It took many, many years. I didn't even know that Chebot was a Jew when it first harassed me. I thought this was about video games. It had nothing to do with video games. Uh, the only reason why I even learned that Chebot was a Jew was because it kept calling me anti-Semitic over and over and over and over and over again, like a broken record at a certain point. I think around 2016, 2017, and then like it just kind of clicked with me. It's like, you're a Jew. Back then, I didn't care whether someone was a Jew or not. I was mostly indifferent towards Jews back then. I didn't fully understand the depravity of Jewish supremacists back then. We learned so much since the Al-Aqsa flood. I didn't know about how Israel literally pays people in Bitcoin to harass and threaten and slander people that criticize Israel. Who would? Who would? They were very reticent about their activities, and like even now we're learning so much about these Jewish supremacist scumbags with the Epstein files. Like that blows my mind. Like that's another topic entirely. I'm gonna digress too much if I get onto this, but like they were torturing children and eating children. Like even I didn't expect that. Like I knew that they were blackmailing our politicians because they were fucking underage girls, children. Like like they say, every accusation is a confession. They accuse all of the critics of Israel of what they themselves are guilty of. These people are satanic. They are sick. But let's watch on. Information about the criminal activities of what Adam Chebot-Goldman, the pathetic loser who has never gotten an education, let alone a job, then watch my previous videos about it. I'll post. The one thing Chebot does know quite a bit about is actually the law, and that's how it is able to get away with this stuff over and over again. That combined with it being bankrolled and supported by Jewish supremacists that pay for an entire law firm to protect it, because it actually comes from a family of lawyers. Its father is a lawyer. Its younger brother is a lawyer. It could have been a lawyer, but instead it chose to go down this path of harassing and threatening people that criticize Israel. And it ruined its life. No matter what, even though it beat the charges temporarily, I might add, I still have no contact order against Chebot. It's not supposed to contact me, and if there's solid proof that Chebot is contacting me, and I believe there is, it's just its lawyer was able to introduce doubt to the judge, which I don't believe was reasonable at all. However, that's neither here nor there. The point is that Chebot is it knows about the law because it comes from this family. And so that's how it was so confident that it could harass me so brazenly, so willingly, and get away with it. That and because, like I said, it's being supported by Jewish supremacists, by Israel itself, the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So it can do this and basically give the middle finger to the court. That's how degenerate and deranged this piece of shit is. And it's also mentally ill. All these links in the description, as well as links to FBI pages where you can report it. Make sure you use its full name, Adam Chebot-Goldman.
He really is a degenerate piece of shit, and oh my god, this guy, I'm having so much fun with this loser, because when you look at the videos he uploaded on his impersonation channel of me on Rumble, several of the videos aren't even mine. The ones with the the so-called is not really flag. I'm just gonna get this out of the way, guys and gals. That flag is actually this one right here. It's this flag right here, which has no Jewish origins and nothing to do with the ancient is not real, like every other Jews. And
Yeah, I agree with him. The Star of David is not a Jewish symbol. It's actually an Ashkenazi symbol. It was created in Europe. I forget exactly which country it was. However, it was created by Ashkenazis. It did not exist in the Middle East at all, outside of just motifs or decorations on certain, uh, uh, maybe in some temples here and there. But there were many other decorations too. None of them had any kind of significance or association with Jewish identity. That is an Ashkenazi thing that was popularized during the age of Zionism. So that's all the Star of David is. It is not a Jewish symbol. It is an Ashkenazi symbol.
Jewish supremacists, especially the so-called anti-Zionist Jews who like to, as this idiot has a habit of doing, pass off as anti-Zionist, but they're not doing enough, anywhere near enough to expose the lies of Zionism and just how disgusting Jewish supremacy is, like any other supremacist movement. I have said the same thing about Arabs and Muslim supremacists, and I did not hold back in doing so, guys and gals. It's not just about doing so to these individuals, but in their synagogues, to anyone who believes in the racist ideology within their scriptures. They have to call this out and actually have some sort of reform. But this guy, he has not only passed off as others or impersonated others, but he has shared pictures of kids online.
But today we're going to examine one specific disgusting, sick, sadistic thing that he has done, and that is he posted photos of Cedric Lutz's family's children online.
This thing whose name...
Yeah, it's actually a lot worse than that. Cedric Lutz, aka Zaxtor, he told me that Adam Chebot-Goldman sent him child porn, and that's what led to the FBI being sent to his father's, its father's house. I talked about that before, and that was the catalyst that set off everything that happened afterward. It being kicked out, it being cut off financially, all that stuff happened because of that FBI incident. So let's watch more.
By the way, I forgot to mention is Adam Chebot-Goldman, or as my buddy calls him, Chebot-Goldman. Oh my god, Chebot. I mean, he's a fucking bot to be sure, but yeah, guys and gals, this guy, he shares pictures of children. He has also shown such a irrational and very disgusting hatred towards Arabs. My buddy has explained it in detail.
If you've ever seen Chebot, or even worse, heard it speak, it looks like a deformed girl, and it speaks as if it has its nuts stuck in a vice. Maybe a duck bit its nuts off, but there's something wrong with its voice. It speaks like this. Like it's a very, very bizarre sounding thing. That's putting it nicely again. So clearly, when it was going to high school, it was an easy target, and it was also a midget. So it got beat up quite often by some bullies in high school, and apparently, some of these bullies, not all of them, but some of them, were Arab people and South Asian people, and that fermented kind of the race politics that would be ingrained in Chebot's mind for the rest of its miserable life.
But yeah, guys and gals, that's the problem with these Jewish supremacists, like this thing who his own father again refers to as a fucking idiot, because he is. This is the difference between us and them. Normal people, normal, rational thinking people, and individuals like this thing. This guy has gone out of his way to pretend to be me, to try to make it seem like I'm doing anything wrong, and that, he's not, is not really, he's not Jewish, he's not Adam, and so on. But guess what, guys and gals? You tell a fucking lie as often as you do, and eventually you want to just believe it yourself, but you will have other idiots like you who believe it. Chebot-Goldman, I'm telling you right now, you stupid little gimp, you disgusting twerp, you racist, pedophilic, Jewish supremacist pig, I'm telling you right now, idiots like you will be exposed, and many are going to know about you, loser, and Jewish supremacist scums like you will understand that you cannot escape everything that you're doing without there being consequences. That's all I have to say about this idiot, this thing.
And I agree. And while it was able to beat the charges this time, it won't be able to do it indefinitely, because the no contact order against Adam Chebot-Goldman is imposed indefinitely. And one day it is going to slip up. It's going to slip up, and it's going to prove that it is, in fact, Adam Chebot-Goldman to the court's satisfaction, and then it's going to get thrown in prison, and it's going to get thrown in prison more severely than the last time, because it's a repeat offender. And past offenses are taken into consideration during sentencing.
Adam Chebot-Goldman, he's a fucking loser who lives in public housing, lives on welfare, whose own parents disowned him, so he's got nothing. Just like, the Jews who are occupying Palestine, they have nothing, no history.
If you want a little bit of proof or evidence or whatever you want to call it for how poor this Jewish supremacist is, it once tried to pretend that it won a bet with someone, and it flashed a bankroll of quarters in the amount of $10 and claimed it won that $10 in quarters from a non-existent friend. No, Chebot, no one pays anyone in a bankroll of quarters. The reason why it had a pre-rolled bankroll of quarters in the amount of $10 is because it uses that for laundry. It uses quarters for the coin-operated laundry machines. That's why poor people always carry around a fuck ton of quarters. Anyone else, like I have never had to deal with that in my life. I always lived in places that had a washer and dryer. I don't even think I've ever been to a laundromat before. But this Jewish supremacist that lives in public housing and lives off of welfare, it needs a roll of quarters in order to do laundry. But it can get paid by Jewish supremacist groups that pay it in Bitcoin for harassing people online, and it gets when it faces criminal charges or it's sued, those Jewish supremacist groups, Beitar or the ADL, they pay a law firm to protect and defend it, who are a bunch of Jewish supremacists themselves.
History, no ties to.
By the way, like that whole trial thing, I could make a whole entire video about that, but this video is getting long enough. But like, just suffice to say that I might explore that more in detail in a future video.
To the land of Palestinians, the actual Semites, along with the Arabs right here. And of course, this guy is just a fucking phony, a fraud who has appropriated the actual Semites' culture, heritage, and stole their lands. And yeah, they're fakes. They're fakes, nobodies, and nothing. And they will die as nothing. But yeah, guys and gals, check out the criminal record of this idiot, this thing, Adam Chebot-Goldman, the pedophilic Jewish supremacist thing. And check out the...
And then there's also its wife, who also went to court and is as fat as a dump truck. It is fat and hideous. I was willing to, like, I think her name is Rachel Mays something, maybe Rachel Mays Clark or something like that. I was willing to leave her out of all this, but when she showed up to court all those times and was smirking at me, no, you're complicit with all this. Um, I'm actually going to make a video about her one day in the future as well, especially if this Jewish supremacist keeps this up and continues to contact me in violation of the no contact order. You can't keep getting away with this, okay? Your wife is basically like the ringleader of this Jewish supremacist cult that's going on there. And I'm going to expose her too. You Jewish supremacist scumbag. You fucking convicted criminal.
Channel of my buddy, and thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, comment.
Yeah, so once again, Chebot has been harassing me by contacting people that I engage with on Twitter. And it constantly tries to chill my free speech because that's what Jewish supremacists do. They try to chill people's free speech through intimidation by stalking them, harassing them, slandering them. When they can't blackmail people, you know how Jews have been blackmailing all of our politicians through Epstein Island, through entrapment by video recording them having sex with underage girls. When they can't blackmail you for crimes that they committed, they slander you instead. They just make them up, which is what this Jewish supremacist did with me, along with what SS Sniper Wolf did with me. The SS Sniper Wolf angle is another topic that I could get into in another video, but is getting long enough as it is. So remember, guys, I'm going to post a link to this petition that this Jewish supremacist Adam Chebot-Goldman made to slander me, to inhibit my free speech. And we need to work together to get this guy exposed, because once there is evidence, proof sufficient to the court's satisfaction, this thing is going to prison. Simple as that. You keep this up, Chebot, I promise you, you will go to prison. You cannot keep this up forever. That law firm that Jewish supremacists are bankrolling for you, they can only go so far with all their lies, deception, and gaslighting constantly, and trying to and saying, "Oh, you hate Jews," is not going to work. It's not going to stand up. This is America, not Israel. Fuck you, you piece of you Jewish supremacist piece of fucking shit.